Quick like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. You know what's supposed to happen when you tell your wife you have a business trip? She helps you pack your suitcase, reminds you to bring chargers and toiletries, kisses you goodbye, and tells you to have a safe flight. Unless she's been waiting for this exact moment for weeks. Unless your business trip isn't just an inconvenience, it's an opportunity. Unless the suitcase she's packing so carefully isn't yours at all. I told my wife I had a 3-day business trip to Denver, Thursday through Saturday. Important client meetings that couldn't be rescheduled. She nodded sympathetically, said she'd miss me, told me to have a safe trip. Then I pretended to leave Thursday morning, packed my car, drove to the office, told her I'd text when I landed in Denver. But I didn't go to Denver. I parked 3 blocks away and walked back to our house through the neighbor's yard. Let myself in through the back door we never lock. Went upstairs to the guest bedroom and watched through the cracked door as my wife pulled a different suitcase from our closet. A black roller bag I'd never seen before. Watched her carefully pack men's clothes that weren't mine. Watch her fold dress shirts, pack shoes, organize toiletries. Watch her pack a suitcase for the trip they were taking together. The romantic weekend getaway they'd planned around my convenient business trip that would keep me safely in Denver while they were actually together somewhere else. Except I wasn't in Denver. I was in our guest room, watching her pack another man's suitcase in our bedroom, getting ready for the affair vacation they'd been planning for weeks. My name is Vincent. I'm 40 years old, and I work as a financial analyst for an investment firm in Portland, Oregon. I spend my days tracking money flows, identifying suspicious patterns, and recognizing when numbers don't tell the story people claim they're telling. I'm trained to spot discrepancies, follow paper trails, and understand when someone's hiding something. I just never thought I'd need those skills to uncover my wife's affair vacation plan around my fake business trip. I met Lauren 10 years ago at a mutual friend's engagement party in downtown Portland. She was working as an event planner for a boutique hotel company, organized and detail-oriented in ways that match my analytical nature. I was the numbers guy. She was the logistics expert. We understood each other's professional mindsets. We got married 8 years ago, bought a house in a Laurelhurst neighborhood, a classic Portland craftsman with original hardwood floors and a renovated kitchen. Lauren continued in event planning, eventually becoming senior coordinator. I advanced to senior financial analyst. Combined income around $225,000. We were successful, stable, living well in Portland. For 7 years, everything seemed solid. We had our routines, our careers, our shared life. Lauren traveled occasionally for work, site visits to properties, vendor meetings, industry conferences. Normal event planning stuff. I traveled too, though less frequently. Quarterly client meetings, annual conferences, occasional site visits. Then about 4 months ago, I started noticing changes in Lauren's behavior. She'd become more distant emotionally, less interested in my day, less communicative about hers. When I'd ask about work, she'd give vague responses about busy season and demanding clients. Her phone became constantly protected, always face down, always password changed, taken everywhere, including the bathroom. She'd started dressing more carefully even for routine days. More attention to appearance, new clothes, different perfume. The physical intimacy between us had decreased dramatically. We'd gone from regular connection to occasional to rare. Just exhausted from work, she'd explain. Wedding season is brutal. I also noticed she'd become very interested in my travel schedule. She'd ask about upcoming trips weeks in advance. Any business travel coming up? She'd ask casually over dinner. Nothing scheduled yet. What? Just planning my own schedule. Want to coordinate so we're not both gone at the same time. It seemed considerate, reasonable, good communication between spouses about travel schedules. Except the way she asked felt strategic. Like she was hoping I'd have trips coming up. Like my travel would solve a problem for her. 3 weeks ago, I found out I need to go to Denver for client meetings. Thursday through Saturday, early March. Important presentations that required in-person attendance. I mentioned it to Lauren that evening. I have to go to Denver next month, March 14th through 16th. 3-day trip for the Morrison account. Her face changed. Just for a second, but I caught it. A flash of excitement quickly covered by sympathy. Oh, that's a long trip. You'll miss the whole weekend. Yeah, unavoidable though. The clients want face-to-face meetings. When do you leave? Thursday morning, March 14th. Early flight. Back Saturday evening. Okay, I'll hold down the fort while you're gone. Something about her tone felt off. Not disappointed that I'd be gone. More like pleased. Like this trip solved a scheduling problem. Over the next 2 weeks, I noticed Lauren seemed energized. More cheerful. Almost excited about something. You seem happy, I commented one evening. Do I? Just looking forward to spring, I guess. Busy season at work, but I like being busy. I also noticed she'd started going to the gym more frequently. 4 times a week, sometimes 5. Coming home more toned, more fit. You're really committed to the gym lately. Wedding season is coming up. Want to look good in the photos. You know how it is. I'm in the background of a lot of client pictures. Plausible. Event planners do appear in client photos sometimes. Looking professional would be important, but something still felt off. A vibe I couldn't quite identify. A sense that Lauren was planning something, preparing for something, anticipating something. Then 1 week before my Denver trip, I decided to verify my suspicions. I told my boss I needed to cancel the Denver trip. Family emergency, needed to stay local. He understood, said he'd send someone else. But I didn't tell Lauren I'd canceled. I let her continue believing I'd be gone Thursday through Saturday. I wanted to see what she'd do with 3 days of guaranteed privacy. The week before the trip, Lauren's behavior intensified. She was practically vibrating with anticipation. She'd hum while doing dishes, smile at her phone, seem distracted in a happy way. 1 more week until Denver, she'd say. You must be stressed about the presentations. Yeah, lots to prepare. Make sure you pack everything you need. Don't want you to forget anything important. I'll start packing Wednesday night. Good idea. Want me to help? No, I've got it. You have your own stuff to worry about. Okay, let me know if you need anything. Wednesday evening arrived. The night before my supposed departure to Denver. I made a show of packing my suitcase in our bedroom. Lauren watched, offering suggestions. Don't forget your phone charger. Got it. And your toiletries. Already packed. She seemed satisfied that I was actually preparing for the trip. That I'd really be gone for 3 days. That night, I barely slept. Lay next to my wife, knowing she was planning something for the next 3 days. Something she'd been anticipating for weeks. Something that required me to be safely away in Denver. Thursday morning arrived. My departure day. I got up at 5 a.m., showered, dressed in business clothes. Brought my packed suitcase downstairs. Lauren came down in her robe around 5:30. You're all set. Yep. Car's picking me up in 20 minutes to go to the airport. Safe travels. Text me when you land. I will. Love you. Love you too. She kissed me goodbye. I walked out of my car with my suitcase. Drove away from our house. But I didn't go to the airport. I drove to my office parking garage, parked in a corner spot, and waited. At 6:30 a.m., I texted Lauren from my car, at the gate. Boarding soon. She replied, have a safe flight. Miss you already. At 7:45 a.m., I texted, just landed in Denver. Heading to hotel. She replied, great. Enjoy your meetings. Talk tonight. Probably late. Long day of prep. I'll text you. No problem. Focus on work. Everything was proceeding according to her belief that I was safely in Denver, occupied with work, unavailable for the next 3 days. At 8:30 a.m., I left my office parking garage, drove back toward our neighborhood, parked 3 blocks away on a side street where my car wouldn't be noticed, walked back to our house through the neighbor's yard. We're friendly with them. Their property backs up to ours. There's a gate between yards we use sometimes. Let myself in through our back door. The door we rarely lock because it's hidden from the street and we feel safe in our neighborhood. Went upstairs as quietly as possible. Lauren was in our bedroom getting ready for her day. I could hear the shower running. I went into the guest bedroom, left the door cracked about 2 inches, positioned myself where I could see into our master bedroom across the hall, and waited. Lauren emerged from our bathroom around 9 a.m., dressed in jeans and a nice blouse. Hairstyle, makeup done. She looked excited, energized. She went to our closet, pulled out a suitcase I'd never seen before. A black roller bag, expensive looking, definitely not one of ours. She laid on our bed, opened it, and started packing. But she wasn't packing her own clothes. She was packing men's clothes. Dress shirts, Not my size, not my brands. She folded them carefully, placed them in the suitcase. Pants. Not my style, not my measurements. Shoes. Dress shoes I'd never seen, size 11. I wear size 9. Toiletries. Men's cologne I didn't recognize, shaving cream, razor, deodorant. None of mine. She packed methodically, carefully, like someone who'd done this before. Like someone who knew exactly what he needed for a 3-day trip. I watched through the cracked door as my wife packed another man's suitcase in our bedroom. In our house. In the home we shared. She finished packing around 9:30. Zipped up the suitcase. Set it by our bedroom door. Then she went back to the closet. Pulled out her own suitcase when I recognized. Started packing her clothes. Cute dresses. Nice outfits. The kind of clothes you pack for a romantic getaway, not a business trip. Lingerie. New lingerie I'd never seen. Expensive, elegant, definitely purchased for someone specific. She packed her makeup bag, hair styling tools, perfume, jewelry. This wasn't packing for a work trip or a girl's weekend. This was packing for a romantic vacation. By 10 a.m., she had 2 suitcases ready, his and hers, sitting by our bedroom door. She checked her phone, smiled at something she read, typed a response. Then she made a call, put on speaker while she finished getting ready. "Hey, it's me," she said. "Hey, beautiful. All set." A man's voice. Deep, confident. Not anyone I recognized. Almost. Just finishing packing. "Your stuff is ready too. You're amazing. Thank you for doing that. Of course. I know your laundry is still at the dry cleaners. Easier for me to pack for you. What time should I pick you up? Noon? That gives us plenty of time to get to the coast before check-in. Perfect. 3 days at Cannon Beach. Just you and me. I've been looking forward to this for weeks." "Me too. It's going to be perfect. Vincent is in Denver until Saturday. We have a whole weekend. Your husband really has no idea?" "None. He thinks I'm staying home, maybe having a girls' weekend. He has no clue we're taking a romantic trip while he's gone." "You're sure he's actually in Denver? He's not going to come back early or anything?" "I'm positive. He texted me from the gate this morning, then again when he landed. He's definitely there. We're safe. Good. I don't want any surprises." "There won't be any. I planned this perfectly. 3 days of freedom while Vincent is occupied across the country." They talked for a few more minutes. Logistics about the drive to Cannon Beach, the resort they'd booked, dinner reservations they'd made. Then they hung up. Lauren looked at herself in the mirror, seemed satisfied with her appearance. I stayed hidden in the guest room, processing what I'd just heard. My wife had planned a 3-day romantic getaway to Cannon Beach with her boyfriend. Timed it perfectly to coincide with my business trip. Packed a suitcase for him. Made reservations at a resort. All while believing I was safely in Denver, completely unaware. Except I wasn't in Denver. I was 20 feet away, listening to every word. At 11:45 a.m., Lauren brought both suitcases downstairs. I heard her moving around, checking things, making sure the house was secure. At noon, I heard a car pull into our driveway. Heard our front door open. "Hey, gorgeous." The man's voice from the phone call. "Now in our house." "Hey, yourself. Come in. I'm almost ready." I moved to a position where I could see the front door through the guest room window. Saw a man, tall, maybe late 30s, athletic build, walk into our house like he owned it. Saw him kiss my wife. Not a quick peck. A deep, familiar kiss. "Missed you," he said. "It's only been 3 days since we saw each other. 3 days too long. Ready to go. Let me just do a final check. Make sure everything's locked up." They loaded the suitcases, both of them, into his car. A BMW SUV parked in our driveway, like it belonged there. Lawrence set our house alarm, locked the front door, got into his car, and they drove away, off to Cannon Beach for their romantic weekend, while I was supposedly in Denver. I waited 5 minutes. Then I came out of the guest room, went downstairs, stood in our living room. My wife had just left for a 3-day vacation with her boyfriend. From our house, packed in our bedroom, carrying suitcases packed with clothes kept in our closet. She'd been planning this for weeks, waiting for my business trip, timing everything perfectly, except the trip wasn't real. I'd canceled it, and I'd watched everything. I pulled out my phone, called my divorce attorney, a family law specialist I'd consulted 2 weeks ago when I first suspected something. "Patricia, it's Vincent Hayes. I need to execute the plan we discussed. You have evidence? I watched my wife pack her boyfriend's suitcase in our bedroom this morning. Heard her on speakerphone coordinating their trip to Cannon Beach. Watched them leave together from our house. They think I'm in Denver for business. They're planning to spend the next 3 days at a resort while I'm supposedly gone. Do you have recordings? Voice recording from the phone call. Photos of the suitcases. Photos of them leaving together. Timestamps on everything. That's excellent evidence. What do you want to do? I want to confront them. At the resort. With divorce papers already filed. Can you have papers ready by this afternoon? I can file within 2 hours. Where are they staying? The Ocean Lodge at Cannon Beach. I heard her mention on the call. They have reservations under his name. I don't know his full name yet, but I can find out. I'll have papers ready by 2 p.m. You can serve her personally at the resort if you want maximum impact. That's exactly what I want. She planned this romantic getaway around my fake business trip. I'm going to ruin it with reality. I spent the next 2 hours preparing. First, I went through Lauren's home office. Found her laptop. She'd left it behind. Not needed for a romantic vacation. Her email was still logged in. I found months of correspondence with someone named Derek Hoffman. Love letters. Plans for their Cannon Beach trip. Hotel, confirmations. Dinner reservations. They've been planning this for 6 weeks. Waiting for my Denver trip. Lauren had even suggested I take the trip when my boss first mentioned it. It'll be good for your career, she'd said. She'd wanted me to go to Denver. Needed me gone for 3 days so she could take this trip with Derek. I copied everything. Every email. Every hotel confirmation. Every romantic message. I also found records showing they'd been seeing each other for 7 months. Meeting for work lunches that lasted 3 hours. Weekend errands that were actually hotel visits. 7 months of systematic deception. And this Cannon Beach trip was supposed to be their first multi-day vacation together. At 2:15 p.m., Patricia called. Papers are filed and ready. I have a process server who can meet you at Cannon Beach if you want professional service, or you can serve her yourself. I'll serve her myself. I want to see her face. Legally, you can do that. The papers are ready for pickup at my office. I drove to Patricia's office. Picked up the divorce papers. Freshly filed, officially stamped, legally binding. Then I drove to Cannon Beach. 2-hour drive from Portland. Arrived around 5 p.m. Checked into the Ocean Lodge. Asked the front desk, casually like I was meeting friends, if Derek Hoffman had checked in yet. Yes, sir. Mr. Hoffman checked in around 2:30. Room 304. Perfect, thank you. I got my own room. Room 318. Same floor, different wing. Then I waited. At 7 p.m., I went down to the resort's restaurant. Upscale, oceanfront dining, romantic ambience. Exactly the kind of place you'd take someone for a special weekend. And there they were, Lauren and Derek, at a corner table with ocean views, holding hands across the table, looking at each other like they were the only people in the world. My wife, on a romantic dinner date, with her boyfriend, at a resort she'd booked while I was supposedly in Denver. I walked up to their table. Lauren saw me first. Her face went white. Absolute shock. Vincent, her voice came out as a whisper. Derek looked confused. Who's this? I'm Vincent, Lauren's husband, the one who's supposed to be in Denver right now. Derek's face changed. Husband, you didn't know she was married? He looked at Lauren. You told me you were divorced, that the divorce finalized 3 months ago. She lied, I said. We're very much married. 8 years, though not for much longer. I pulled out the divorce papers, placed them on the table in front of Lauren. These were filed this afternoon. You're being served. Our marriage is over. Lauren was crying. How did you? You're supposed to be in Denver. I canceled the trip 2 weeks ago. Never went to Denver. I was in our guest room this morning watching you pack Derek's suitcase. Heard you on speakerphone planning this trip. Watched you both leave. Followed you here. Derek stood up. She told me she was divorced. That she lived alone. That she lied to you about everything. She's married. To me. Lives in our house. In our bedroom. Where she packed your suitcase this morning. He looked at Lauren with disgust. You're married? This whole time. Derek, I can explain. There's nothing to explain. You're married. You lied. We're done. Derek threw his napkin on the table and walked out of the restaurant. Lauren looked at me, tears streaming down her face. You set me up. No. You planned a romantic vacation with your boyfriend around my business trip. I just didn't actually go on a business trip. Everything else was your choice, your plan, your deception. How long have you known? 2 weeks I've suspected. This morning I confirmed it. Watched you pack a suitcase. Heard you coordinate the trip. Saw you leave together. What happens now? Now you're served with divorce papers. Now your romantic weekend is ruined. Now your boyfriend knows you lied about being divorced. Now everyone knows the truth. Where am I supposed to go? I don't care. Stay here. Drive home. Go wherever Derek went. But our marriage is over. You planned a romantic vacation while lying to me about a business trip. You packed another man's suitcase in our bedroom. You brought him to our house. It's done. I walked out of the restaurant. Left Lauren sitting at their romantic corner table with divorce papers in front of her and her boyfriend gone. Drove back to Portland that night. Didn't want to spend another minute in Cannon Beach. The divorce moved quickly. Lauren tried to claim I'd entrapped her. Patricia shut that down. Mr. Hayes canceled a business trip. Mrs. Hayes independently chose to plan a romantic vacation with her boyfriend during the time frame she believed her husband would be gone. There was no entrapment, just Mrs. Hayes making choices based on an opportunity she thought she had. We presented the evidence. Photos of Derek's suitcase packed in our bedroom. Recordings of Lauren's phone call coordinating the trip. Email showing 7 months of planning and deception. Derek Hoffman also provided a statement. He genuinely believed Lauren was divorced. When he found out she was married, he ended their relationship immediately. Lauren had no defense. She'd been caught planning and executing an affair vacation. We settled after 6 weeks. I kept the house. Lauren got 25% of joint accounts. No spousal support. 8 years of marriage ended because I told my wife I had a business trip, then watched her pack his suitcase instead. I heard Derek wanted nothing to do with Lauren after discovering she'd lied about being married. The relationship that had seemed so romantic when secret lost all appeal when it cost her marriage. Lauren moved to Seattle, trying to start over. About a year later, I met someone at a financial conference. Her name was Rebecca, investment advisor, straightforward, honest. On our 4th date, she asked about my divorce. I told my wife I had a business trip to Denver. 3 days. But I canceled the trip and didn't tell her. Wanted to see what she'd do with guaranteed privacy. Rebecca's eyes widened. What did she do? Packed her boyfriend's suitcase in our bedroom. Planned a romantic weekend to Cannon Beach with him. They were going to spend 3 days together while I was supposedly in Denver. How did you find out? I watched her pack his suitcase. I come back home, hid in the guest room, watched the whole thing. Heard her coordinate the trip on speakerphone. Watched them leave together. What did you do? Followed them to Cannon Beach. Filed divorce papers that afternoon. Served her personally at the resort restaurant while she was having romantic dinner with him. Ended their vacation and our marriage simultaneously. That's perfect timing. She planned everything around my business trip. The trip that didn't actually happen. She just didn't know I was watching everything. We've been together 11 months. Rebecca doesn't plan romantic vacations around my business trips. Just honest communication. I told my wife I had a business trip, then watched her pack his suitcase instead. Black roller bag I'd never seen. Men's clothes that weren't mine. Toiletries, shoes, accessories. Everything he'd need for their 3-day trip to Cannon Beach. While I was supposedly in Denver. Except I wasn't in Denver. I was in our guest room, watching her pack, hearing her plan, seeing her excitement about the romantic vacation she'd been anticipating for weeks. The trip she'd timed perfectly, around my convenient business absence. That wasn't real. And when she left with him, I followed and served her divorce papers at their romantic dinner, on a vacation she planned, while believing I was safely across the country, unaware, unsuspecting, in Denver. Except I never went to Denver. I watched her pack his suitcase. Instead,